Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about the coronavirus news for Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, and we have some very interesting developments here that I think could possibly drop bombs and not only stopping the coronavirus, but also changing the shape of the economy in the United States. Now with that, let's talk about stopping the coronavirus. Now, this is coming from Futurism. Now, IBM supercomputer called Summit, which is currently in Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee, has basically been tasked with ripping through like a zillion different permutations on how to stop the coronavirus. And it has identified 77 treatments that may actually be able to stop COVID-19 from spreading. Now, the research, which was detailed in a paper that was uploaded to the preprint server ChemRxiv, could help researchers develop a drug to treat the deadly virus, but so far, all this is a very important first step. Now, to quote Jeremy Smith, the director of the Oak Ridge National Laboratory for Molecular Biophysics, he said, "Our results don't mean that we have found a cure or treatment for the coronavirus." Now, the supercomputer was tasked with finding compounds that could bind to the spike protein or S protein of the virus that it uses to basically infect the host cells, meaning you and I. Now, by rendering this protein ineffective, the virus would be inhibited from spreading in the host and then obviously as well as being transmitted to somebody else. Now, using previously created models of the coronavirus spike, the researchers simulated how particles in the viral protein would react from different drug compounds. The team cut down that list of 77 possible effects or possible solutions to this to the top 7 most promising candidates to treat what is known as the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which would effectively cut this down. That is very promising, and I love to see artificial intelligence tackling a problem that affects humanity. That is a very good thing, and I'm hoping that the researchers at IBM and Oak Ridge National Laboratory are able to come up with something that we can massively reproduce and spread across the world, our own antivirus, if you will. Moving on, this is coming from Forbes, and this is actually very fascinating, especially here in the United States. We have one of the largest largest currencies in the world, and we may soon be getting a digital currency, and this is what's going on. Now, basically, the market here in the United States is continuing to drop. Wall Street has taken a very serious hit by virtue of the coronavirus, and so Congress is basically in the process of creating a stimulus package, hopefully to save the economy from the impacts of this pandemic. And the newest offer by House Democrats includes a digital dollar and the establishment of digital dollar wallets. Now, I'm not getting political here. Obviously, both sides, liberal and conservative, Republican and Democrat, are actually debating what this stimulus or relief package should be. But this is one of the proposals that's coming out, and I find this to be absolutely fascinating because if we are creating a digital dollar or digital wallets to hold our digital dollars, this could be a major bomb dropping in the cryptocurrency world, particularly for those that follow central bank digital currencies around the world. And this signals that the U.S. is serious, assuming they pass this budget, that the U.S. is serious in establishing an infrastructure for a central bank of digital currency. Now, the bill that's being proposed establishes a digital dollar, which it defines as, and I quote, a balance expressed as a dollar value consisting of digital ledger entries that are recorded as liabilities in the account of any Federal Reserve Bank or an electronic unit of value redeemable by an eligible financial institution as determined by the Board of Governors and the Federal Reserve System. Additionally, a digital dollar wallet is identified, and I quote, as a digital wallet or account maintained by a Federal Reserve Bank on behalf of any person that represents holdings in an electronic device or service that is used to store digital dollars that may be tied to a digital or physical identity. Now, a mandate also requires that all member banks establish, and I quote, a pass-through digital dollar wallet to all customers eligible for this stimulus. Member banks include those banks that are members of the Federal Reserve and regulated by the Fed. Additionally, non-member state banks, meaning the possible local bank to the state that you reside in one of the 50 states, basically those are not members of the Federal Reserve and are regulated by the FTC, but they could opt in to offer pass-through digital wallets as well. Now, that is absolutely fascinating. And I think the cybersecurity implications of that are staggering as well. We have seen through cryptocurrencies, specifically when we are looking at blockchain, Bitcoin, all of those, we have a lot of problems, especially not necessarily with the blockchain technology itself, although that is an entire can of worms I could do another video on. But we see that a lot of repositories or online banks for cryptocurrency get hit continuously. And typically, because Bitcoin doesn't have something like FDIC backing, people that get stolen when the bank is the one that is compromised, not their own account, they have no real recourse in getting back that information. And so what happens if they decide to spin this up as the government in the United States here, and that gets compromised and hackers start stealing millions or possibly billions of digital dollars from the U.S. registry? How is the FDIC going to ensure that or kill those chains and all of that? I think that's a pretty interesting question that we need to answer. The other thing that we have too is that the government likes to outsource the development of things. And when we are looking at anytime they've done a major digital push, and the last one I can think of is when they were spinning up Obamacare and they released that website. That website was a complete and utter disaster. We found code that was developed in Russia in it. It didn't work and all of that. Even President Obama himself, said, well, we're working on this. We're trying to fix this and all of that. And obviously, eventually, it got fixed. So I'm very curious to see where that goes, because that is a major, major shift in basically the United States economy by offering this, especially when we are used to traditional banking. And so when I look at my bank statement and it says I have X amount of dollars, I know that at some point I could go and literally cash those out for physical money. Now I can cash them out for digital. And that is not just a cybersecurity implication, but also a paradigm shift in how a lot of Americans, especially the older generations and boomers and silent generation, I'm looking at you guys, how are you going to have this established? Now, if this is just for the stimulus now, this could be the introduction of this into business to get everybody used to this, and then it's adopted by the wider community. But this has massive implications, and if this bill passes, and again, I'm not going to speculate on that, that is always a floor fight between the liberals and the conservatives. We'll see what happens, but that is very interesting news, and that is a direct response to quickly funding organizations that need it in the middle of the coronavirus or COVID-19 outbreak. So with that, that is your coronavirus news of the day. Hopefully you are alive and healthy and not watching this while sick. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.